Good afternoon. This week, we are excited to bring you some live coverage from inside the NFL Combine. I'm Tyler Meyerly.
And I'm Annenberg. It is day 4 of the 2020 NFL Scouting Combine, and 2 of SC's top stars, Austin Jackson and Michael Pittman Jr., have already met with the media and coaches. During his presser, Jackson talked about donating bone marrow last offseason to his sister, who was born with diamond black fan anemia.
And it was a long process. I had to take a whole offseason to go home and be with her and train on my own. Couldn't afford to get sick. Otherwise, the procedure would have been prolonged. And I battled back through fall camp, through the season, to gain my strength back. It's definitely a process.
Our own Trevor Denton and Sam Arslanian are in Indianapolis covering the action. Hey guys, how's Indy?
Thank you, Tyler. As you can see, we're right outside of the bench press where the first group of receivers just went. We're just minutes, maybe even seconds away from Michael Pittman Jr. doing this event. But before we talk about that, Austin Jackson had his press conference today. Of course, the former great USC left tackle, and he talked about how much his grandpa has influenced his game. Take a look at what he had to say.
It's a business, and you have to show up every day. You have to show up every day to work and get better. There's some technique stuff he's taught me. Football in the 70s is a lot different than football now. But the biggest thing he's taught me so far is just show up every day and work hard and make the most for yourself.
Sam, we don't normally see players do the sort of thing where they give a preference for what team they want to go to. Normally media members ask them and they're like, I don't know, I'll go to whoever takes me. But Austin Jackson definitely had a preference today.
Well, you never want to be selective with a team that's going to give you maybe multi-millions of dollars.
No.
But Austin Jackson, his grandfather, Melvin Jackson, who played at USC in the 70s, spent 5 years with the Packers, so he said Green Bay might be a home for him.
Yeah, he said he would love to block for Aaron Rodgers. He said he wouldn't mind the cold climate. It's been very cold here today. I think he might have some second words about that, but he said he would like to ski, snowboard, live in Green Bay, block for Aaron Rodgers. Our producer pointed out there's not a lot of skiing in Green Bay, so don't tell Austin Jackson that. He also talked a lot about his sister. There was the great story this offseason. He donated bone marrow to her, saved her life from a life-threatening illness, and we also learned some stuff that he wasn't at full strength for most of the season. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, he talked about how he wasn't able to squat with any weight until like 3/4 of the way through the season. So if you have Austin Jackson not at his full strength and he played like he did, not to mention the fact that he's just getting up to his weight where he was before he donated the bone marrow.
Right.
So now he's going to be a really lethal guy if he's now at full strength.
Right. He couldn't even squat. He was blocking some of the Pac-12's premier pass rushers. He won the Pac-12 Offensive Lineman of the Week like a month after this surgery that he did to donate bone marrow. So an incredible story there. Lots of questions about it. He handled it very well. Definitely something that NFL scouts are interested in. Let's go back to Michael Pittman Jr. now. He's about to do this bench press. I feel like this is going to be a major event for him. He's such a big, physical, strong receiver. How do you think he's going to do?
My guess is 22. I think 22 is a great number.
That's a big number now.
He's a big, strong receiver, and he's known for being those guys that's going to go up and fight for that ball. The big thing, though, is tomorrow, the 40-yard dash. If you can get under 4.5, that's a better metric of what we need to see from Michael Pittman Jr.
That drill has made people millions of dollars. We'll see if it can make millions of dollars for Michael Pittman. You're looking pretty strong today, Sam. How many reps do you think you could get up back there?
I'm still suffering from a torn labrum from baseball season,
That's fair.
I don't think I can get any right now.
Hopefully Pittman puts up a big number, improves his draft stock. We'll have live coverage of that on Twitter, on YouTube, anywhere you can find Annenberg Media Sports. For now, back to you in the studio.
That would be the longest recovery ever, Sam, but thank you guys. USC's wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. is competing in a crowded class of wide receivers with top receivers CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy expected to go early on in the first round. Where will Pittman end up, and will he really mind where he's drafted, if not within the first few rounds?
I don't really look too much at where people rank me because this is just like a little starting place, and none of this really affects where I end up. So I'm just here to do my best and have fun.
Pittman caught 101 passes for 1,275 yards and 11 touchdowns, and was a finalist for the Biletnikoff Award during his senior season. USC will have to find a way to replace that production.
Yeah, there is a lot of talent in this draft class, and I think a lot of the focus this year is on those offensive players. Quarterback Joe Burrow is expected to go first overall to the Cincinnati Bengals. Burrow had one of the most prolific seasons ever by a college quarterback. The Heisman Trophy winner could have pulled an Eli Manning or John Elway. He's been all over the place with his dodgy answers, but Burrow was asked right away yesterday, and here's what he finally had to say.
I'm not going to not play. I'm a ball player. Whoever picks me, I'm going to go show up. I'll play whoever for whoever drafts me. You know, I'm just not going to be presumptuous about, you know, what they want to do. It's the draft. You guys have been covering it for a long time. You never know what's going to happen.
Georgia running back DeAndre Swift is another talented playmaker in Indianapolis, and Swift's versatility will help him contribute on the ground or through the air. It should make him the top back selected.
I think I'm the most versatile back in this class. I think I'm a 3-down back. I can do whatever I'm asked to do. God gave me a lot of God-given ability, so I don't take that for granted. I work hard every day. I'm a great leader. Yes, sir.
And you know, fun fact, Swift's hands came in at 8 3/4 inches. I think those 440 career carries show that that ball is not going anywhere. Okay, so there is a lot to talk about with the Combine, with the guys USC has there, and just how this week has already gone in general. And to help us carry on this discussion, we are joined by Reagan Griffin Jr. and Daniel Huynh. Alrighty, guys. Thanks, guys. Okay, first things first, USC only has 2 guys there. How are we feeling about that?
It's incredibly depressing for the program I think going forward. As we all know, recruiting it's a dumpster fire right now. So USC has had some of the best recruiting classes in the last 10 years. The fact that USC can only send 2 players shows the coach's inability to develop talent here in Southern California.
Why are you depressed, man? That just tells you how good we're going to be next year. Okay, look, only 8 seniors participated on this team this year. 5 of them started, 2 of them are going to a combine. When you look at it within that context, it's really not that bad, and it just speaks to how much young talent exists on this team right now. That's what I'm optimistic for is, you know, in the years to come, you're going to see more of those guys end up going to the draft. But in this particular year, that just speaks to the lack of veteran leadership that they have.
And I think if you look at it, you know, Tyler Vaughn's also definitely would have been there this week if he had ended up coming out. So I definitely agree with Reagan on this one. There's plenty of returning talent coming back to the team, and that just shows that they're going to be even better next year than they were this year.
Yeah, 8 total seniors doesn't sound too hot, though, when you're looking at Georgia's 10 guys that they have there at the Combine, LSU 16. Those schools have numbers. Those schools get looked at.
To the future.
Yeah, I know. Wide receivers, though, sticking with that, you have Michael Pittman Jr. When you look at the way he plays, is there any NFL wide receiver right now that you think he looks like?
I can't believe I'm gonna have to say this, but he kind of reminds me of Juju Smith-Schuster.
Okay, another SC guy.
When he was coming out of USC, both were brought in incredible physicality to the position. I actually think that Michael Pittman is an underrated route runner, just like Juju was like coming out of college. And I think they're being underappreciated, they're being undervalued, and I think they're both day 2 or 3 guys.
I do agree with you that were undervalued coming into the draft. How about Kenny Golladay? Both guys are 6'4". Both guys are 220 pounds. Both strong physical receivers, and they're both a quarterback's best friend, right? We saw time and again, Keaton Slovis getting these situations where he had to get bailed out, and who was the guy he went to? Michael Pittman Jr. Just throw it up and give him a 50-50 shot at it, and 9 times out of 10, Pittman's beating the DB out for it. We saw it against Utah. We saw it throughout the course of the entire season. So I think those two are almost eerily similar.
And what you mentioned about winning at the catch point is really probably his best skill. And that's why I would say optimistically I'd compare him to Mike Evans from Tampa Bay. I don't think he's ever going to be quite as good as Mike Evans because he's a top 5 probably receiver in this league. But in terms of being able to go up and win at the catch point, that's something that Pittman can really do.
For his sake, let's hope we don't get a Jameis Winston.
Well, and hopefully that doesn't discourage Pittman because you've got one team that lost a quarterback, the other one ended up fighting. You've got one who doesn't even know what they're doing with their quarterback and one who was blind half the season. But to my favorite topic, what is going on with the media and these new guys at the NFL Combine? Should these players be playing into their pick? Is honesty the best policy right now? I
think the players have the right to be 110% honest with the media. Listen, the NFL is different than the NBA. Sometimes talent doesn't take you there. In football, there's many more variables, and personal maturity comes into play. So for the players and the teams, I think being honest brings a certain amount of transparency that will serve the players and the teams in the end.
Look, here's the thing, right? Everyone wants to say, let's keep it a buck, let's keep it 100, right? I'm going to say like Max Kellerman said it on First Take. Sometimes just keep it 90. Because, you know, the important thing when it comes to the draft, when you're in the pool, you want to try to get drafted as high as possible. Because ultimately what determines your salary and what determines the contract you get is your draft status. So, you know, if you get drafted lower because of something that you said, you're only hurting your pockets. And for these guys coming out of college, the average NFL career is 3.3 years. There's no telling when the clock's going to tick up. Football is like that. Your whole career can go like that.
I understand where you're coming from, Reagan, but history has shown like sometimes it's best for a player to go down earlier than to stay in the top 10. Look at what happened to Tom Brady. Would he be Tom Brady if he was on the Patriots?
But you're talking about, the thing is, everybody's looking at these guys where it's pretty set in stone where they're going. You know, Tua's looking to go into the Dolphins. You know, Burrow's looking to go to the Bengals, and Herbert, they still don't know, so maybe his comment could have been held back a little. But these are these guys' first exposure with the media. You know, honesty is the best policy, but maybe not when interviewing for your job, so to speak.
Exactly. Which one of us as college students have never maybe, you know, lied a little bit?
Me, how dare you?
Or on our resume, right? It's all about, you know, getting to whatever the best situation is for you. And when you think about it, sports is one of the only industries in the world where you don't get to choose where you work. So I think giving them that liberty to kind of, you know, lie maybe a little bit, you know,
make
tweak
it sound
the truth
so
a little
enjoyable.
bit is probably the best way to
Not
go.
even being dishonest, I just think from a standpoint of you can get into the league, find what the team looks like and what the organization looks like, and then say, hey, maybe this isn't the best situation for me. But the important thing is to go get that bag first.
Well, and that's why I said play into the pick, you know.
Exactly. Go get the bag first.
Burrow, you know you're going there.
Sometimes money isn't everything.
Man, shoot. Okay.
Yeah, you say that until you are handed a multi-million-dollar contract. They're very talented players. I brought up Justin Herbert. To tell us more about other Pac-12 players, we have Jillian and Ava. Jillian, Ava, what's the word?
Almost 4 dozen Pac-12 players have descended on Indianapolis for the 2020 NFL Combine. Utah leads the pack with 9 players participating in the on-field workouts.
That's right, Jillian. And leading the Utes is cornerback Jalen Johnson. He is the highest-ranked Ute in this class. However, he played the 2019 season with a torn right labrum and will require surgery. Still, Johnson led Utah with 11 pass breakups and recorded 3 interceptions. He's expected to be a third-round pick.
And though Oregon quarterback Justin Herbert has gained the most media attraction, teams also have significant interest in Washington quarterback Jacob Eason. Eason, who threw for 3,123 yards and 23 touchdowns last year, captivates scouts because of his size and arm strength.
Annenberg Media spoke to UCLA running back Joshua Kelly about his combine experience.
Yeah, I want them to see my versatility, like my entire range, you know, whether that's being fast, quick, explosive, catching the ball, running, showing good footwork. I wanted them to know I could do everything, the whole package. I want them to see how versatile.
After posting 1,060 yards and 12 touchdowns, Kelly is seen as a day 3 pick, with concerns around his breakaway speed and his role in the passing game.
I know we are excited to see where these players from the Pac-12 end up in the final NFL draft, but for now, let's send it over to Tyler and Aiden with some interesting tweets.
Yeah, the sports world just keeps gifting us with these awesome tweets to run with.
They really do, like Joe Burrow informing us. I am considering retirement after I was informed the football will be slipping out of my tiny hands. Please keep me in your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, you know, these measurements, you can take so much from them. If it's a glaring issue on film with turnovers, yeah, it's probably an issue. But, you know, I didn't have a lot of fumbles or anything like that, so I just tried to, you know, make a little joke out of it.
Well, now, Tyler, it's time to see where you measure up with the top quarterback in this class. And my main question is, do the nails count for the hand measurement?
No, they don't. They're not that long.
All right,
but
well, let's see what we got here. It's looking like about 7 inches, so not too far behind Joe Burrow.
2 inches shy. Hopefully that makes him feel a little bit better. I have held that NFL ball. It's rather large, but I think he can get the job done. But all this hand talk is getting a little out of hand. Thanks for watching our show. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Annenberg Media Sports. I'm Tyler Meyerly.
And I'm Aiden Berg. We'll see you next week.